So if you're on your own, get yourself some Stofers and tell your folks not to worry.
All you do is pour some Jell-O brand gelatin into a mold and chill until it thickens.
In the culinary landscape of the 1970s, a remarkable array of recipes emerged, capturing the essence of an era defined by innovation, convenience, and a touch of nostalgia. From hearty comfort foods to indulgent desserts, these dishes became beloved staples in American households, offering a taste of tradition and modernity. So today, join us as we explore 20 famous recipes from the 1970s we want back.
And tonight I will show you step by step how to make a delicious classic chicken a la king meal. Stay tuned.
Chicken a la king. Chicken a la king is a nostalgic dish from the 1970s that brings back warm memories. This creamy chicken delight was a dinner table favorite, often served over toast or rice. To make it, you start by sautéing diced green peppers and mushrooms in butter until they're tender. Then stir in flour to make a roux, thickening the sauce. Gradually, you add milk and chicken broth, stirring constantly to avoid lumps. Once the sauce is smooth and creamy, cooked chicken chunks are added along with pimentos for a pop of color. The mixture simmers until everything is heated through and the flavors meld together. The final step is to scoop this savory concoction over crispy toast or a bed of fluffy rice. Chicken a la king is a comforting dish that captures the essence of 1970s home cooking, offering a deliciously rich and satisfying meal. As you savor the creamy nostalgia of chicken a la king, what other classic dishes in the 1970s are waiting to be rediscovered? The answer lies in the hearty richness of beef stroganoff, a tantalizing meal ready to whisk you back to the flavors of yesteryear.
Weight Watchers' new beef stroganoff braised beef in a sour cream sauce sprinkled with savory herbs. It's so deliciously authentic it takes me back to Mother Russia.
Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff is a beloved dish that many are eager to revive. This hearty meal features tender beef strips enveloped in a rich sour cream sauce, typically served over noodles. To make it, start by sautéing thinly sliced beef in butter until browned, then set it aside. In the same pan, cook onions and mushrooms until soft and fragrant. After that, stir in some flour to thicken the mixture, followed by beef broth and a splash of Worcestershire sauce for depth. The sauce simmers until it thickens, and the beef is returned to the pan to soak up the flavors. The final touch is adding a generous sour cream dollop, making the sauce creamy and tangy. Served over a bed of warm buttered egg noodles, beef stroganoff is a comforting, flavorful dish that evokes the culinary charm of the 1970s.
Delicious simple meals brought to you by Campbell's. Today try tuna noodle casserole.
Tuna noodle casserole. Tuna noodle casserole is a classic comfort food we're eager to enjoy again. This dish combines tender egg noodles with chunks of tuna and a creamy, flavorful sauce. To prepare it, cook the noodles until they're al dente. Mix canned tuna, condensed cream of mushroom soup, and a bit of milk to create a rich, creamy base in a large bowl. Some recipes also include peas or mushrooms for added texture and flavor. The mixture is then poured into a baking dish and topped with crunchy breadcrumbs, which provide a delightful contrast to the creamy filling. The casserole is baked until it's bubbly and the top is golden brown. Other than that, what inventive twist awaited dinners at the 1970s gatherings? Did they embrace the wobbling delight of Jell-O salads, blending fruits, vegetables, and even meats into gelatinous masterpieces?
Susan, this really looks beautiful.
For Susan Dando's and other holiday recipes, see November and December women's magazines. To give your salads a holiday look, start with Jell-O.
Jell-O salads. Jell-O salads were a hit in the 70s, combining the convenience of gelatin with a colorful array of ingredients. These quirky concoctions featured a mix of fruits like pineapples, cherries, and oranges, creating a sweet, wobbly treat. Vegetables, too, made their way into these molds, with options like shredded carrots or celery adding a surprising crunch. For the more adventurous, some recipes included meat, like ham or chicken, creating a curious blend of sweet and savory. Jell-O salads were often the centerpieces at potlucks and family gatherings, admired for their vibrant appearance and creative combinations. Today, they evoke a sense of nostalgia, reminding us of a time when culinary experiments were bold and entertaining. Despite their unusual mix, these gelatinous delights hold a special place in the hearts of those who remember them fondly from the dinner tables of the past. ham and pineapple. Ham and pineapple, a classic combination that skyrocketed to fame in the 1970s, was a staple at dinner parties and family gatherings. The dish featured a succulent ham, often baked to perfection, adorned with juicy pineapple slices and bright maraschino cherries. This sweet and savory blend became an instant hit, capturing the hearts and taste buds of many. The tangy sweetness of the pineapple perfectly complemented the saltiness of the ham, creating a harmonious flavor profile that delighted diners. Maraschino cherries added a pop of color and an extra sweetness, making each bite a delightful experience. Whether served as a holiday centerpiece or a weeknight dinner, ham and pineapple quickly became a beloved classic, cherished for its simplicity and irresistible taste. It's a recipe that deserves a revival, bringing back memories of a flavorful era gone by.
So for cooking class, you will learn to grasp how to make great food with steps made for you.
Salmon patties. Salmon patties, a beloved comfort food from the 1970s, were a staple on dinner tables across America. This budget-friendly dish utilized canned salmon, transforming it into delicious patties that were both flavorful and satisfying. To create these savory delights, canned salmon was mixed with breadcrumbs, egg, and a medley of seasonings, forming a hearty mixture that held together when fried to golden perfection. The crispy exterior gave way to a moist and tender interior, bursting with the rich flavor of salmon. Often served with a squeeze of lemon or a dollop of tartar sauce, these patties were simple yet delicious meal options for families everywhere. Their easy preparation and affordable ingredients for busy weeknights or economical dinners. Families savored the comforting aroma of salmon patties sizzling in the pan, but would another iconic dish, chicken Divan, capture the essence of 70s cuisine with its creamy sauce, tender chicken, and crisp broccoli?
I just got myself some Stofers. They make so many good things. Chicken Divan, beef stew, green pepper steak with rice, and lots more. Some ready in just 15 minutes.
Chicken Divan. Chicken Divan, a cherished dish from the 1970s, was a comforting casserole that satisfied both hunger and nostalgia. To prepare this classic recipe, cook chicken breast until tender, then shred them into bite-sized pieces. Next, they would blanch fresh broccoli florets until just tender, providing a vibrant contrast to the creamy sauce. The sauce, which consists of cream of mushroom soup, mayonnaise, and a hint of curry powder for depth of flavor, would be poured over the chicken and broccoli, enveloping them in a luscious coating. Some variations include a splash of lemon juice or white wine for an extra zing. Finally, the casserole would be topped with a generous layer of sharp cheddar cheese before baking until bubbly and golden brown. The result was a dish that married tender chicken, crisp broccoli, and creamy sauce, all crowned with a blend of melted cheese, making it a timeless favorite for generations to come.
We add some lingonberries to get that little sweet and sour kick to it as well.
Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs, a beloved dish from the 1970s, was a flavorful blend of savory meatball and creamy gravy that graced dinner tables with comfort and warmth. To craft these delectable morsels, home cooks would start by mixing ground beef and pork with breadcrumbs, finely chopped onions, and a medley of spices like allspice and nutmeg, imparting a distinctive Swedish flavor. After rolling the mixture into bite-sized balls, they would be browned perfectly in a skillet, creating a golden crust for added texture and taste. Meanwhile, a rich and creamy gravy would be prepared by combining beef broth, heavy cream, and flour, thickened to a velvety consistency. Some recipes include a touch of Worcestershire sauce or Dijon mustard for an extra depth of flavor. Once the meatballs were cooked, they would be simmered in the luscious gravy until tender and infused with its rich taste. Traditionally served over a bed of buttery egg noodles or alongside creamy mashed potatoes, Swedish meatballs were a hearty and satisfying meal that warmed the body and soul. Garnished with a sprinkle of fresh parsley for a pop of color, these meatballs were a timeless classic that continues to evoke fond memories of home-cooked comfort food from decades past.
Hi, I'm Vicki.
And I'm Joanne. Welcome to our Gooseberry Patch Kitchen.
Today we're making sweet ambrosia salad.
Ambrosia salad. Ambrosia salad was a delightful concoction that brought together the flavors of tropical fruits with the creamy goodness of whipped cream. Creating this sweet treat was a breeze for home cooks, who would start by gathering an assortment of fruits like oranges, pineapple chunks, and maraschino cherries, often from canned varieties for convenience. These fruits would be carefully mixed in a large bowl, creating a colorful medley of flavors and textures. Next came the creamy component, with whipped cream serving as the base. Some recipes might use sour cream or yogurt for a tangy twist. Miniature marshmallows and shredded coconut were then folded into the creamy mixture, adding sweetness and a delightful chewy texture. The salad was gently stirred until all the ingredients were evenly coated in the creamy goodness. Once prepared, Ambrosia salad would be chilled in the refrigerator to allow the flavors to meld together and the salad to set slightly. Served chilled, this sweet and creamy fruit salad was a refreshing finale to any meal, perfect for potlucks, picnics, or holiday gatherings. As families gathered around the table in the 70s, savoring the sweet nostalgia of Ambrosia salad, what savory delight would complement this creamy dessert? Little did they know, the answer lay in the hearty embrace of stuffed peppers, offering a satisfying contrast to the sweetness of the salad.
I found some stuffed green peppers.
The firmness of the pepper. The meat, the sauce, like no other but Mama's.
Stuffed peppers. Stuffed peppers, a comforting dish popular in the 1970s, offered a hearty and flavorful meal that satisfied both taste buds and stomachs. Crafting these culinary delights was a labor of love for home cooks, who would start by selecting vibrant bell peppers, often green but sometimes red or yellow, for added visual appeal. The peppers would be carefully hollowed out, creating a cavity to hold the delicious filling. The filling was a delicious medley of ingredients, typically consisting of cooked rice, seasoned ground meat such as beef or pork, diced tomatoes, onions, and various herbs and spices like garlic, oregano, and basil. This flavorful mixture was spooned generously into each pepper, packing it full of savory goodness. Once stuffed, the peppers were baked until tender and the filling cooked through. Some recipes included a sprinkle of cheese on top for a gooey, melty finish. The result was a mouth-watering dish that married the sweetness of the peppers with the savory richness of the filling, creating a meal that was both comforting and satisfying. Pineapple upside-down cake. Pineapple upside-down cake, a beloved dessert from the 1970s, was a sweet and nostalgic treat that captured the hearts of many. Crafting this delightful cake was a joy for home bakers, who would start by lining the bottom of a cake pan with melted butter and brown sugar. Then they would arrange pineapple rings and maraschino cherries in a decorative pattern on the sugar mixture. Next came the cake batter, a simple mixture of flour, sugar, eggs, and butter, often flavored with vanilla extract. This batter would be carefully poured over the pineapple and cherry layer, covering the entire surface evenly. After baking in the oven until golden brown and fragrant, the cake would be inverted onto a serving platter, revealing the beautiful fruit arrangement on top. Each slice would boast a moist and tender crumb with bursts of sweet pineapple and juicy cherries.
Your current deviled eggs. You got enough, devil? The one-of-a-kind creamy blend of sweet and tangy.
Deviled eggs. Deviled eggs, a classic appetizer from the 1970s, were a staple at gatherings and parties. They offered a tasty bite-sized treat that was both satisfying and versatile. Crafting these delectable delights was a straightforward process for home cooks, who would begin by boiling eggs until firm yet creamy. Once cooled and peeled, the eggs would be carefully halved lengthwise, revealing the vibrant yellow yolks nestled within. These yolks were then scooped and mashed with mayonnaise, mustard, vinegar, and a sprinkle of salt and pepper, creating a creamy and flavorful filling. The yolk mixture is spooned back into the egg whites, creating a smooth and rounded surface. Some variations included chopped pickles, paprika, or fresh herbs for added flavor and visual appeal. The finished deviled eggs are garnished with a sprinkle of paprika or a sprig of parsley before serving. One other classic dishes in the 1970s era offer that same sense of comfort and satisfaction. Could it be something as simple yet beloved as chipped beef on toast?
Never in my life have I ever consumed creamed chipped beef.
Chipped beef on toast. Chipped beef on toast, a comforting dish popular in the 1970s, was a simple yet satisfying meal on many breakfast and lunch tables across America. Crafting this classic dish was a straightforward process for home cooks, who would start by thinly slicing dried beef into small pieces, creating the chipped component. Next, they would prepare a creamy sauce by melting butter in a saucepan and whisking in flour to create a roux. Milk would then be gradually added, creating a smooth and velvety sauce. The chipped beef would be stirred into the sauce, allowing the flavors to meld together. Meanwhile, slices of bread would be toasted until golden brown and crisp. Once ready, the creamy chipped beef mixture would be generously ladled over the toast, creating a hearty and comforting meal that was filling and flavorful. Chipped beef on toast is a beloved classic that evokes nostalgia for simpler times.
These are the kind of desserts you'll find in the finest restaurants. Ice cream cakes, Italian-filled torts, even baked Alaska. Or you can simply fill your cake with a different Betty Crocker cake mix.
Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska, a show-stopping dessert from the 1970s, was a delightful combination of cold and hot elements that thrilled diners with its contrast in textures and temperatures. Crafting this impressive dessert was an art form for home cooks, who would start by assembling a base of sponge cake or pound cake at the bottom of a baking dish. Next, they would carefully sculpt scoops of ice cream onto the cake, creating a mound that resembled a snowy mountain peak. Once the ice cream was arranged, a fluffy meringue made from whipped egg whites and sugar would be generously spread over the entire dessert, ensuring it was completely covered. The assembled dessert would then be baked in a hot oven for just a few minutes until the meringue turned golden brown and slightly crisp on the outside, while still maintaining the coldness of the ice cream within. As diners marveled at the contrast of temperatures in baked Alaska, what savory dish could match the spectacle of this icy hot dessert? Let's explore liver and onions, a hearty staple that filled many tables. But what made it a nostalgic favorite alongside the era's show-stopping desserts?
Do you like liver? Do you like onions? Well, we got a place for you. Raised liver and onions.
Liver and onions. Liver and onions, a hearty dish once a staple in many households during the 1970s, offered a robust, flavorful, nutritious, and budget-friendly meal. Preparing this classic dish was relatively simple for home cooks, who would start by slicing fresh beef liver into thin strips, removing any connective tissue. The liver strips would then be dredged in seasoned flour, often flavored with salt, pepper, and perhaps a hint of paprika for added depth of flavor. Meanwhile, onions would be sliced thinly and sautéed in a skillet with butter or oil until golden and caramelized. Once the onions were tender and fragrant, the coated liver strips would be added to the skillet and pan-fried until browned on the outside, yet still tender and juicy. The dish would be finished with a splash of broth or wine, simmered briefly to create a flavorful pan space. Served piping hot, liver and onions provide a hearty and satisfying meal packed with protein and nutrients. Despite falling out of favor in recent years, this classic dish holds a nostalgic charm for many, evoking memories of family dinners and comforting home-cooked meals from decades past.
New chicken, cheese and chili Kiev, another easy-to-do meal from the Sun Valley Kiev range.
Sun Valley, where only the best will do.
Chicken Kiev. Chicken Kiev offered a compelling combination of succulent chicken and flavorful garlic butter enveloped in a crispy golden coating. Crafting this indulgent entree was a labor of love for home cooks, who would begin by pounding boneless chicken breast until thin and flat. Next, a rich garlic butter mixture, often made with minced garlic, parsley, and butter, would be carefully placed in the center of each chicken breast. The chicken would then be folded over the butter mixture, sealing it inside to create a pocket of flavor. After dredging the stuffed chicken breast in flour, egg, and breadcrumbs, they were gently fried in hot oil until golden and crispy outside, while remaining tender and juicy inside. Served piping hot, Chicken Kiev is a decadent treat that has delighted diners for generations with its irresistible combination of savory chicken and rich buttery garlic filling. With its crispy exterior and flavorful juicy interior, this timeless classic continues to tempt taste buds and remains a favorite worldwide menu. Its enduring appeal lies in the perfect balance of textures and flavors, making it a beloved dish that stands the test of time.
Is your crumbly meatloaf a pain to serve? Tired of the bottom getting so soggy it just falls apart?
Me too! Hi, it's Mark with the perfect meatloaf pan. The new non-stick way to bake, lift, and serve perfect meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Meatloaf was a hearty and flavorful dish that graced dinner tables with its simple yet satisfying presence. Crafting this classic meal was a straightforward process for home cooks who would combine ground meat, often beef or a mixture of beef and pork, with breadcrumbs, eggs, and various seasonings. The meat mixture would then be shaped into a loaf and placed into a baking dish or loaf pan, ready to be baked to perfection in the oven. Some recipes included diced onions, bell peppers, or garlic for added flavor and texture. Once baked, the meatloaf emerged from the oven with a golden brown crust and a moist and tender interior, permeating the kitchen with its irresistible aroma. Served sliced and topped with a savory gravy or ketchup glaze, meatloaf provided a comforting and nourishing meal that satisfied both hunger and nostalgia, making it a beloved classic that continues to endure through the years. The scent of savory meatloaf fills the air, but what refreshing counterpart could perfectly complement this hearty classic? What crisp and crunchy dish, perhaps adorned with fruits and nuts, awaits to balance the savory flavors of the meatloaf, tantalizing taste buds with its unique blend of textures and flavors.
Just off Rhode Island around lunchtime, we anticipate a light sprinkling of walnuts on a crispy, fresh Waldorf salad.
Waldorf salad. Waldorf salad offered a refreshing blend of crisp fruits, crunchy vegetables, and creamy dressing that delighted palates with its unique combination of flavors and textures. Crafting this iconic salad was a breeze for home cooks, who would start by dicing fresh apples and celery into bite-sized pieces. Next, they would toss the apples and celery with chopped walnuts, adding a satisfying crunch and nutty flavor. The salad would then be dressed with creamy mayonnaise, which coated the ingredients evenly and added a rich and indulgent element to the dish. Once fully dressed, Waldorf salad would be chilled in the refrigerator, allowing the flavors to meld together and the salad to relax, enhancing its refreshing qualities. Served chilled and garnished with a sprinkle of additional walnuts for extra crunch, this salad provided a delightful balance of sweet and savory flavors, making it a beloved favorite for generations.
Whoa! I gotta blow the whistle on these Encore Salisbury steaks, Al.
What's the call, Ref?
There's just too much food here for one official. I can't finish all these juicy flame-broiled Salisbury steaks all by myself.
Salisbury steak. Salisbury steak is a hearty and flavorful meal many long to return to dinner tables. This dish features seasoned ground beef patties, typically served with a rich mushroom and onion gravy. Mix ground beef with breadcrumbs, onions, and various seasonings to form the patties. These are then seared in a hot skillet until they develop a delicious golden crust on the outside. Meanwhile, in the same skillet, you saute sliced mushrooms and onions until they're tender and caramelized, creating a flavorful base for the gravy. Flour is then sprinkled over the mushrooms and onions to create a roux, which thickens the sauce. Finally, beef broth and Worcestershire sauce are added to the skillet, creating a savory gravy that perfectly complements the juicy beef patties. Grasshopper pie. Grasshopper pie is a delightful dessert from the 70s that deserves a comeback. It features a chocolate cookie crust topped with a creamy, mint-flavored filling. Making it is a breeze. First, you crush chocolate cookies into crumbs and mix them with melted butter to form the crust, pressing it firmly into a pie dish. For the filling, you whip cream cheese, sugar, creme de menthe liqueur, and sometimes creme de cacao for an extra touch of chocolatey goodness. This mixture is folded into whipped cream until smooth and fluffy, then poured into the prepared crust. After chilling in the fridge for a few hours, the pie sets into a luscious, minty treat perfect for any occasion. Grasshopper pie is delicious and a nostalgic reminder of the sweet indulgences of the 70s.